String functions. So let's get into string functions first. So string functions fall into that data cleansing, and that data transformation portion of data analysis. There's a lot of talk. You hear a lot of talk, data cleansing, data cleansing, data cleansing, and it's low key like it's a catch-all phrase because people say data cleansing, and I could be talking about a full job automation, or I could be talking about pulling scripts. You would using I could be talking about like writing code, pulling things from the data, whatever. So there's a lot of talk about the data cleansing. There's also a lot of talk about AI, 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 AI. And one question is, okay, will AI take our jobs? Will AI, oh, Sade, will AI take our jobs? Will AI do any of these things? And I think that a big disconnect in that is the fact that a lot of people that are not within data, they kind of misunderstand what it actually looks like over here. And what I mean by that is the fact that in its entirety, we collect a lot of data. So you go to Target. We don't go to Target, but you go to you go to. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but you go to check out, and they're like, "Okay, how was your experience? Did someone greet you here? Did someone do this?" You checking out at the counter, and your data is being collected. So you look at it like, okay, I'm checking out. I'm gonna give these people my card, get it, and rate my service on 1 to 10. The consumer or the company, they collecting your data. So you think you just low key doing a little survey, and they like, nah, baby, we finna take this and make some money out of it. So when you look at like your everyday interactions, you're feeding the machine, like you're feeding the data, whether you want to or not. And I said all that to say we have so much data to the point that, first of all, it's not all useful. And second of all, it's unstructured, it's not clean, it's trash sometimes. And we have like a saying within data, like, okay, trash in, trash out. So it comes to the point where you, as an analytic professional, have to focus on quality data, clean data. I had this conversation with somebody on another station, and she actually is already in data. She works for a transportation company, and she was saying how their team really small, ain't nobody on their team, and all of their whole basically company is run on views. And she was saying how trash the data was, to the point where the people that are using the reports, your stakeholders, which is like HR, marketing, whoever these people using these reports, they getting trash data. They getting trash like direction, because the data that's on the back end is trash, basically. And she can't say that, but that's what the problem is. And the problem is it's just so much, and it's just unstructured. So, and there's nobody in a position over there, or wherever she is, that is designed to like clean this data, structure this data. Whereas there should be, but it ain't. And it's not a lot of times. So that's where you get into like string functions. That's when you get into like that data cleansing. That's when you get into all of that. Because if I have trash data and it's feeding this dashboard, and this consumer is taking this doctor is taking this HR professional is taking this, and they're making business decisions off of trash data, you gonna make some trash business decisions. So that's where it comes into play. Okay, let me make sure the data is clean. Let me make sure it's useful. And you do it by applying string functions, or there's other concepts, but typically applying string functions. And what string functions do is they allow you to manipulate the values that are actually in those columns. We talked about them strings. Okay, put your single quotes around it, make it a string. We talked about that. A string function is a function applied literally to that string. And you notice that when you look at this syntax, low key, your syntax is lined up the exact same way your aggregate function is. because here we have our select concat, which is a string function used to combine and replace select concat, which is your function. You open up your parentheses the same way we did with our aggregate function. We got select, average, open up our parentheses. You do the same thing. Open up your parentheses, put your columns, these are actual columns, in your parentheses, close it up as you give it an alias, just like you do with your aggregate function. And the reason I chose concat is because it's super popular. Excel uses it. Um, do Python use it? Anyway, it's super popular with the analytics because there are times to where you might have to merge two columns into one. So what this output would do is you take this column, and it's gonna merge it into a whole different column, which is why you had this alias here. And notice we have from tables. So you essentially are selecting concat, your function. These are your columns and your parentheses, the same way we did last week with those egg functions, as this is our alias from our employees. Another one is this upper. So it falls into like some of those core, like what are some core string functions? Let's say you are in a position to where you in marketing is actually perfect. You're in marketing, and one of your sources for data is exactly like the example that I provided earlier. They are based on like people. Like I'm entering my own data. I can put whatever I want, however I want. So of course, naturally, if the data is like user from the users, it's not going to be structured in a way that's consistent. I might write my name a little different. You might write your name a little different, whatever. So upper would allow for you to like uppercase whatever it is in this column or lowercase whatever it is in the column. And there's also a string function where you can camel case as well. Like and I didn't know what camel case was. I had to Google it until like about a year ago. I was working on store procedure, but it was like the first name uppercase and then the rest lowercase. Like so you can just basically apply your string function in a way that makes all of your data in that column consistent. Um, Here is another one. So select column name, function, parentheses, the column you do in the parentheses, just like them egg functions. Every time you do a function, it's gonna be function and parentheses and column every single time as name length. And this len is gonna give you the length of the values in that column. So let's say you are doing some data cleansing and within your table definition, your table is defined. We define them tables. You have only set it up as some sort of ID. So you would have the expectation that only 6 values are gonna go in that field. Therefore, you do your data quality check and you're like, oh, well, this field got 10, something must be wrong, or whatever the case is. So select len, column name from customers. Now, this is a good one too, pattern matching. And I use this one because in the day-to-day life, this is a very common one. And the pattern matching goes into literally like searching for values within that column that are like this value, meaning that I might not know exactly how this name is spelled or exactly how this data is stored, but I know a little bit. So this like allows you to search that column for those values. And the way that I liken it is like how you use the control F on in Excel or Word. Like, let me find this. And the way like is structured, you are selecting your columns from your tables where this column like. And the way that that's structured is you got your string, you make it a string. I put this parentheses here and I put SON. So I'm essentially saying anything, this parentheses is a wild card. So this parentheses can represent JOHN. It could represent, what's another? what anything. This parentheses can represent any letters as long as it ends with SON. Give me all of them. When you take your parentheses and put it on the back, it's the same way. It starts with SON, but I don't care. That parentheses represents give me anything. But I know the front is going to be SON. And when I take my parentheses and put them on both sides, I'm basically saying it can be anywhere. It can be anywhere in them values. Just give me anything. And that allows you to search your data. You're in the you're in the position of where, okay, let me do a little data investigation. I'm trying to find somebody named Brittany, but everybody born in the 80s named Brittany. So like, and everybody tries to be a little different, like girl. So, like how am I gonna find it? I got my TTANY, I got my NEY, I got my NEI, I got my, like, girl, we all got the same name, so it don't matter. But that pattern searching is gonna allow you to, like, okay, I know it's BRI. Let me see what I can find. So that's a super useful one as well. Any questions regarding those string functions? Okay.
I used to get tripped up when it comes to the pattern matching. Sometimes I would forget, like, where do I put, like, the percentage, like, with the wild card mark. I was like, Jesus Christ, it just tripped me up constantly.
It does it to me today. And like, I just do both of them. Like, I'm like, okay, that ain't what I meant. I meant the parentheses on the back. Like, I to this day, like that man said, to this day, I would like just do both of them, or like, okay, that one work, okay, that one don't work, okay, But yep, it's common. You not like crazy or nothing.
Are you able to use that pattern matching for dates as well?
Yeah. Yep.
So just be like if you're looking for a certain month, you would say, but I know it's 25, so you put well, I don't know.
Yep. You keep going. You said it right. You put like where, whatever your column name is, like, and then a piece of what you think you know.
The date would still go in the single parenthesis little quotes too.
You would treat it the same way. And another good thing, if you are searching for dates and you like kind of low key know when it fell, um, between would be good as well, because it's like, okay, I know this came in March and I know that they purchased this, or I know that they use this. So I would say where whatever the date is between this, and then I will come down and add another condition and say, and first name is this, or and product ID is this, and whatever, and just layer it on top of them.
Now with the dates, because I think that's one of the ones I looked it up. That was one of the ones that kind of tripped me up. Like with dates, I'm always going to use between.
If you are looking for a range, yep. But
okay, so with one of the questions, it was like show all records after. Wait, no, it wasn't that one. One of these ones that was saying show the records from the certain date. I think it was the order by one. I don't know.
Now,
I had to use between.
Huh?
I had to use between.
You don't have to. That's another way. If I say, give me all the records give me all the records that took place after December of 2024, I can say select column from table where date after, greater than or less than whatever that date is.
Maybe that's what it was, because I'm not good at that one. Okay.
Yep. Now, if you was to use a range, I would say it would be a range. Think about it like this. If I was to use a range, I know explicitly what I want. I literally only want data that fits within those certain parameters. But if I say, give me all of the data after January, it could be 2 million records. So I can just say select column from table where column name greater than or less than, which greater than it would be, before or after, whatever that date is. Before it, are equal to, because you want to make sure you get it too. But yeah. But just think about a range. When I say a range, think about I only want, this is my parameter. This is all. But if I want everything before or after, and I don't know, I have no idea like how much data, how far it goes back, et cetera, you can just use it where column name greater than or less than the date. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. So your let's go within our healthcare system database. And I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Okay. So this is our, oh, y'all connect to the VM. Okay. So this is our server. Remember, the server is the brain. Oh, this is an answer, Carrie. Let me move it because he asked for that. But this is the brain. Like, it keeps everything running. If you're in the 90s, we have a big old CPU from our computer. This is the CPU. Then we maximize it, and we have our databases, security, all this other stuff. So we're going to expand our databases. You see all of our databases. It is not uncommon for your organization. You might have 50 databases. I'm decommissioning a project now because they like got stuff in there that like, it got stuff in there. It's like y'all got stuff from like 2001 and stuff. Like, why do y'all even have these? So I'm decommissioning a project now because we have so much data to the point where it's like y'all, it's not working. It's not functioning properly. So I'm having to go through and do data investigation, like saying how I teach y'all data investigation, run some scripts to like see, okay, what store procedures is this project using? And not only what store procedures, but what tables does this store procedure call? What are the dependencies? Like literally going through the same way I be teaching y'all. And then go decommission it because we get rid of it. But this is your database. You will have a lot of different databases. And typically, the data is like relational within the database, but not all the time. But most of the time it will be. So for tonight, let's get into our healthcare system database. So just expand it a little bit here and get into your tables. Okay. So expand it here, and then you'll see all your tables here. This one has 5. So for this, first things first, your brain, let's go and look at our data. So you can expand your columns here. Okay, I'm looking at my primary keys. Y'all remember the primary key is the unique identifier for that table. So I'm looking at my primary keys. Okay, I see all this. I see my data types. I see all that. Come down here. I'm gonna look at this table too. Let me just look at it. What is the data relationship between these tables? And when I say the data relationships, I mean it. Like, how are these tables related? This type of investigation will also leverage you tonight when you start doing your joins as well.
Did you give us a problem to do? I stepped away for a moment.
I was asking, they doing some data investigation. I was asking the data relationships between the tables in the healthcare system database.
I see the patient ID.
Oh, patient ID. Okay, what table?
Um, It is the primary key in the patient's table. It's a foreign key in the medical test.
Okay.
It is a foreign key also in what is that table? Appointments.
Yep. Yep. What's a foreign key?
A primary key that belongs to another table.
Yep. What's a primary key?
Unique identifier of a specific table.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the data relationships. And the way you explained it to me, how you said it, just like that. When you start interviewing and when you start, doing things, and if and when you have to do a live technical assessment, do it just like that. Okay, I'm going looking here exactly how you just did it, because that's perfect. And if you want to just, say that, but that's exactly right. Those are those relationships between those tables. Um, okay. So the first use case is, let me look at my data real quick. Oh, I'm in the wrong table, yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna type it in the chat. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you the table. I will tell you the database. It's in this healthcare system database. So provide me an output of all patients who have BRO in their last name. I need their patient ID, first name, last name. I would need all the columns, but just where the patients have where the patients have BRO in their last name. In any part of their last name. And let me know if y'all want to talk through it.
Can I put my code in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't bring up anything, but maybe I put something differently.
Okay, let me see.
Oh wait, sorry. I think I know what I did. Hold on one sec.
Oh yeah, I think you. Yeah.
Uh,
Did,
I have
See,
it.
I did that too. Like it didn't run anything.
it's the other. Put the other parentheses because when I say BRO with the any, so okay. So let's talk. Let's talk about it. So you see how I'm executing? Ain't nothing coming up. And the reason nothing is
Yeah.
coming up is because this parentheses stands for anything. So I'm saying anything, it could be A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, whatever, but ending in BRO. This parentheses can be anything. So what I'm telling it is I'm selecting these columns from this table where last name like any letters ending in BRO. I'm basically asking anything that ends with BRO. Now, if I was to take this and put this parentheses on the other side, I'm saying anything that begins with BRO and ends with, I don't even care what it ends with. So I essentially just moved that parentheses and saying anything. But this is the beginning. This BRO is the beginning, but it can end with whatever. And like y'all had the parentheses in the beginning. So I'm saying it has to start with, it can start with anything, but it needs to end with BRO.
And then the double parentheses just basically says as long as BRO is within the name.
Anywhere. BRO can be anywhere. Let's switch it up and let's say, okay, bring me back all.
Hold on.
What you say?
So,
Oh,
that was me. I'm just trying to understand. So, if I run it, I'm not supposed to be able to get anything, or something is supposed to come back. Was I supposed to get data back, or was I not?
How was yours? It depends on how your data was. If your data was like Harry's, you weren't gonna get nothing. Because the way his was structured was, oh, I'm getting, am I getting echo? Or is that y'all?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on.
It might be me. I can turn mine.
Oh no, no, it was Sade. I think it was. I don't know, but okay, we got the. Um. Okay, so we have the parentheses here. That's basically a wild card. Oh no, I think it is Chelsea. Cause you don't want.
It's me.
Yeah, my bad, Sade. Okay, so we got the parentheses here. So this parentheses is essentially saying anything. I don't care. I don't even know what it is. I don't.
Are you saying the percent sign or the parentheses?
Oh yeah, I'm saying the percent sign.
Okay. 'Cause I'm like, well, the person. Wait a minute. The
Yes,
percent sign.
yes.
If you put it before, it means anything.
This, yep,
at the end of the last name.
yep,
And then if I switch it and if I put it behind, that means anything that's like my last name is Brothers.
yes,
Anything that matches that.
yep,
Okay, I'm tracking now.
yep. I am not. I am definitely talking about this.
I need you to get a red book. It's okay though.
Yep, I'm talking about a percentage.
Yeah, I was confused at first with the parentheses. And I was like, okay, she mean
Percentage. Yep, yep. So anything that comes in front, like how you said, Chelsea, that example, it can be brothers. Because I have BRO and this parentheses is I don't care. So as long as it starts with BRO, it can end with whatever. Whereas his code initially had this. So his code was saying it can start with whatever, but as long as it ends with BRO. So that's why the data wasn't returning anything, because there's not any data in the table to do that. But like if you do it on both sides, it's like I don't care. But it looks like everything is brown in here anyway. Yeah. So does that make sense with those string functions? Okay. Now let's take it a step further. So provide me an output of all female patients born after I meant 1965. 1965. Provide me an output of all female patients born after January 1st, 1965, and who have bro in their last name. So you already have a baseline of that code already. So what do? You build upon what you already have. So let me go within our logical operator so you can see the screen. There we go. Remember, we only gonna use where one time. Write a condition, execute your code. Okay, this works. Now add the other one. Okay, that works. All your conditions need to go on top of each other. Don't put all of it on one line. Say where last name like bro and whatever your condition. And, build it like on top of each other.